needles. And when that happens, they release an inordinate amount of pine bone.
Right.
So like if you're like,
So I'm gonna
a little bit, but like my eye hurt.
I'm gonna open the meeting though, because it's
Yeah, go.
6:15. Sorry, guys. We can talk about pollen in a minute. So I'm gonna open the Tuesday, August 6th, 2024 school board meeting. Right?
In person.
In person. Yeah, it's at 6:15 p.m. Sorry, I was thinking I had to say something, and thinking and talking doesn't work. Joe Frigo, Kelly DeLea Lask, and myself are here in person. And then Bob Tebow and Meredith Block are in TV land. Melissa and Devin are both traveling, so they will not be here tonight. Are there any modifications to the agenda? Hearing none.
No.
Okay, so we've got, okay, so I've got a meeting situation here. Why does it say July 2nd? Oh, yes, okay. So we have 3 sets of meeting minutes to approve, but we have a problem with the June 4th meeting. I don't know what I did. I hit record again. I know for a fact I did. I cannot find the second half of the meeting. And I don't really know what to do about that at this point. That was the one where we did the Lettieri first, and then we went into deliberative session, and then we went into executive session to discuss a contractual issue, and we came out. And so there wasn't, I think I actually took a picture. I may be able to tell Meredith what those minutes were, and there was no yeah, sorry, there's a dog here and
That's what I was thinking.
She's into this carpet hard, man. Like so hard. It's like the greatest thing that ever happened to her. So
Can we just go through the agenda line by line and you tell me what happened and I drew it off that, or is that not?
no, yeah.
We can put a note that says, like an asterisk that says, this is what happened. Like we can be super transparent about it as well.
That's probably
maybe
the best
ask
to do it.
Joe, if that's acceptable.
Well, we just need to make sure. I didn't hear what you said, but I did hear you say we have to be transparent, and that's what I want. But what did you say at the last part?
Oh, I just said ask PHO if maybe that's acceptable. If we just go through that and then at the bottom with an asterisk say, the recording was lost, but we,
okay,
gave the minutes as accurately as possible.
All right, then Meredith, why don't you and I work on, we'll get the minutes done and then we'll send them to Pietro. We'll tell him what happened. He can look at them at the same time rather than have him give him 2 different ones or 2 different emails. Maybe we can do that this week. I'll go through it, send it to you. You can write it up the right way and then we could send it off to him. Does that make the most sense?
Yeah, or you can,
I think we at least have documentation of what happened.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Because
I think that will be, I think he'll be, I don't know if we have another choice, so.
Yeah, right.
We'll just get it. We'll just run it by him just to.
So June 4, I'll do that. June 5th, that was the one that we were approving. That was fine. That was a residency hearing. So that was fine. So we have to approve the minutes for that. So the June 5th meeting, I did go through those. I don't know if anybody else did, but you can always, you can go to wyndhamcentralboard.org and you just log in and you can see all of our minutes and all that good stuff. So I need a motion to approve the meeting minutes from June 5th, 2024. Thank you, Kelly. Thank you, Joe. That's good. Those are approved. Then I need the July 2nd meeting minutes. A motion to approve those. Thank you, Kelly.
Second.
Thank you, Joe, for the second. Those are approved. And then I will work on the June 4th ones. That's a good solution to that. Review and approve order. We have 2 tonight. I did send an email to Allison to send them to Meredith to have them attached to the meeting. Oh, Meredith, I wanted to ask you this. When you get these from Allison, are you attaching them to the meeting minutes? Because that's our intention, that they are attached. Just putting a link.
Can you, they need to be not on they need to be on the district drive.
Okay.
If I have the capability of doing that, I can. I thought that Sue was attaching them, like if she had them. So maybe we 3 need to talk about what's the best way to do that.
Well, what my intention.
So I need a link.
when you get the documents from Allison, when you go to forward the meeting minutes over to Sue, that you're forwarding them with these documents?
Yes, I do. If
Oh,
I have a,
okay.
yes.
Yeah.
And then hopefully she adds it in.
Okay, then I'll just make,
Yeah.
I'm gonna send, because I checked and I didn't see orders attached to the other ones. So I will check in with Sue and just let her know that that's what our intent is with that.
And if she doesn't have them, I will make sure that I get them for each of them, and we'll make sure like that everything's set for those.
Okay,
I can
yeah,
talk to you about it. Yeah.
that's great. And so let me just write this down. Email Sue to attach orders. Is that how you spell attach? I don't know. Orders. Okay. Review correspondences. I don't think I
I
Oh,
just had.
I did get one, but I'm gonna put that under a different topic. Okay, so keep going.
I just had, what I meant to do, Sean, the reads are moving back.
Oh,
I just
yes.
want to be considered for-
Sean, the
Residency.
Reed family is going to be moving back to town, and Sean is SIAN, Reed is REED.
Correct.
Yeah, so the Reed family is moving back. They were longtime residents, moved out to
Sunderland.
Arlington,
They built the
Sunderland.
house in Sunderland. We
Yeah.
still have the house here, and now
Yeah.
the house in Sunderland is under contract, so they'll be
Oh.
back here.
Good for them.
What grades are they have?
They have just one who's going to be a senior at BVA.
Did you get any correspondences?
I did not.
Okay. BCTV update. So the deal with that is I spoke with her. She's really a nice lady. And she was like, basically, she's like, I can't quote you anything different than what we normally do, simply because we had this discussion, we went back and forth about it. And she was like, because the thing is, she was, we do the same thing for your meetings that we do for everybody's. We set it up, they do the whole link, they do whatever. Also, we got found on YouTube. One of my friends was like, I just saw your email, your meeting. Welcome to the 20th century, like 21st century, whatever. Yeah. So, and she's like, cause we still like put the description in, we still like do all that stuff. She's like, and you never know from meeting to meeting if it's going to be an hour and a half or if it's going to be 20 minutes. Right. And so so yeah, we're stuck with this. The rate's kind of stuck. She had thought, she's like, geez, you know, your meetings are so small, but she really can't quote it. There's no way to do it. Yeah, the work is still the same. So that's the deal with that. Driver's ed follow-up discussion, possible action. Go ahead, Bob. Hi.
All right, well, so just to update folks, I still have not heard back from the AOE attorney.
Oh.
So that's not super surprising based on what I'm hearing around the state, just in general, not about driver's ed, just in general. And it came up at River Valleys last night as well. They've been following up on your inquiry about this and checking with me to see like, oh, so what's the latest on that? So I shared with them sort of the status, which was what my belief was based on the reading of it. And we were basically asking for confirmation from the AOE or not getting it. The whole thing hinges, of course, on whether or not BBA has a driver's ed teacher or whether or not they found one this year. And so I decided like, look,
Joe may have some information for you on that.
Well, enough messing around. So I just emailed the headmaster I just asked him like, hey, do you have a driver's ed teacher? Like, what's going on? So I'll let you know what I hear back from him. But yeah, so I don't have any new information other than the information that you've already seen. So
right. Joe does have something to share.
A small snippet, but it was just, I was at a LSB, RSB, Vermont relicensure meeting last week. And it was interesting to hear that there's been no driver's ed. I heard that there was no driver's ed licenses up for renewal or for application this year in the state of Vermont.
Yeah, that's not all that surprising.
So then it brings me to our next question with regard to that, which is that we do have a family who's requesting reimbursement. And the law is incredibly clear that they are not to pay for driver's education. And the parents are not, the law is very specific about that.
So one thing we can agree on.
Right. And so again, like I had a conversation with Bob about this once before, where it's not as big of a deal. It's not that impactful for Stratton, where this is something we would do. But what does that set for the other districts. So at this point, we only have one family who is looking for it. And I really feel like because they did ask for it months ago, we should make a move on that, even as a one-time situation to resolve this one problem and proceed, like let Bob continue his efforts. Like everybody's looking for the answers now. So, but I do think that we need to handle that one family.
Yeah, and I think if you have a motion that is specific to this one family in the interim until we resolve the issue on a broader scale, you're not opening a bigger can of worms, you're limiting it in a really finite way to this one situation.
Oh, great. So let's figure that out. So we need to make a motion to,
approve the reimbursement for this family, correct?
but it's only 50, is it 50? Well, it's not though. Well, it is because BBA paid for 50%.
Okay.
So she is looking
they're
for
only
us
looking for the balance.
to reimburse the balance. And it's not to, what is the cost not to exceed, Bob? Is it
Oh, I thought it was 400.
$400? So we need a motion to reimburse, what do you say, the requested amount?
So did the parent already pay it out of pocket?
I don't know.
I would
She-
presume that they would have had to.
I think that they
Yeah,
would have had to at
right.
this point.
Yeah.
Yes, you'd be motioning to reimburse the family in a one-time situation for an amount.
For sure, in their business, they're getting,
Yeah.
paid, yeah.
Okay, so we need a motion to reimburse
Approve the reimbursement of 50% of the driver's ed expenses not exceeding $400.
to the one family who made the request.
Without setting precedent for.
Yeah.
Keep it rolling.
Yeah,
Do we need anything else on that, Bob?
I think that's sufficient because it's very narrow what you're motioning for.
Yeah, Meredith, did you get that? Can you read that back or no?
No,
Okay,
I kind of got it. You're making a motion to approve the reimbursement for 50% of the driver's education payment for the family, for one family, you wanted to say, not any family, or,
yes. For
but you
the
don't want
one,
to say who the family is. Okay.
for the
For
one family
The
who's
single
made the
family.
request. Well, I mean, they're asking for public funds. The last name is Chiodi, Chiodi.
CHI.
ODI. Yeah. So Joe's writing it down now. And then we want it also to say that we,
I know.
dog is something else. Vera, you're awesome. Basically in the interest of settling this one instant, like what'd you come up with?
I said, motion to approve the single family's expenses of up to $400 for 50% of driver's education.
As a one-time solution.
A one-time solution.
There you go. Will you just read that one more time so Meredith can have it?
Motion to approve the single family's expenses of up to $400 for 50% of driver's education as a one-time solution.
I need a second.
Second.
Thank you, Kelly. Is there any more discussion on it? Hearing none, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. I will reach out to the Chiotis about that and handle that. And then we'll just wait for Bob for the rest of it.
Right, and going forward, is it, as the law is written, understanding that it's not on the family to pay for driver's ed, would it fall to the school?
That's what he's trying to figure out.
Okay.
Because the law is ambiguous. The policy is clear that the parent shouldn't pay.
Correct. So I
And
didn't know where it
nobody
would fall
really said,
otherwise.
right. And I mean, BBA is paying for half of it and the entire BRSU has agreed to pay the other half of it. But if you're not in district and you're not in the BRSU, which we are not,
And where do you fall?
right. And the problem is we kind of got language in the past that suggested that this is really the responsibility of the school.
Right.
But I didn't
But
really
that should just be
interpret it that way.
clarified,
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And I mean, it could be the responsibility of the school to work out an arrangement like this. Not that, you know what I mean? It wasn't like, yeah. So it was very ambiguous. Okay. Residency survey update, those went out.
Great,
to all of the parents.
great.
You don't get one
I
because
don't get
you
one
don't have any more kids in the
anymore.
school. So those went out and we'll see how that goes. I also linked up Allison on that so that she can see it as it comes in. Residency updates. We had another residency request for Yevgeny Ivanov, who was someone who we did, were you on the board when we did him in the beginning of the year?
I remember the
Last
name.
year, he was a denial. He brought it to the AOE and then it fizzled out. We heard nothing about it ever again. He didn't make another request. So he has made another request for this coming year. I was told that it was a denial. That's why I'm bringing it up now
Yeah.
because I did get a letter of denial.
Got it.
So we may see movement with that as well. I actually think it may already be with the AOE. Additionally, there was a residency hearing with the AOE that took place last Monday. The attorney reached out to me today and said that he has to file post whatever and that he's going to do that tomorrow, even though it's not due until Thursday. And he said they should hear very soon after that.
Okay.
So we don't have any information on that.
No finalization.
Right.
And that was from one of our previous denials?
Mhm.
Okay.
That went up to the AOE and it was heard.
So-
Like Lorraine attended, like
Yeah,
Bob
yeah.
was there. And I think it was like 2 hours long.
uh,
So yeah. And then any other
She keeps finding other stuff.
any other business that may legally come before the board? I do have one thing. So like I said, my friend found us on YouTube and
Yeah.
he did say, in order to truly be compliant, everyone needs to be, the public needs to be able to view everyone on the board. So what that would basically translate into would be you guys could just pick up Zoom on your phones, make sure your sound is off. We'll still use the sound here, but they need to be able to see your faces. So in the next few meetings or in the next, as we proceed, make sure you have your phone and do you have Zoom ability on your phone?
yeah,
Capability.
no service in this building now.
Well, there's
Right?
Wi-Fi.
Oh, we can all look at the Wi-Fi
yeah.
here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we do need to do that because the other things are like video recorded. And so like you can see the public on the projector and like, we're not doing all that. So
Okay.
yeah. So to be compliant, we have to do that. I was like, thank you for telling us. And our next meeting will be what? September 3rd, September 3rd at 6:15, 3/2024, 6:15 on your phones.
Right.
Hey, Allison,
Yeah.
did whatever your friend thought, did it say it had to show their live face or did it just have to be a picture of their face?
Whoa, that's.
I
Because I
don't,
know that in the River Valley, a lot of some of the board members just have a picture of their face. Always.
you know what, Meredith? I don't know, but it makes sense to me that you would be able to see it, that you should be able to see everybody. That makes sense.
Right.
So I don't know the answer to that because I definitely have like clicked off my camera to like go talk to one of my kids or something and come back, whole new world with all this Zoom. I don't know, but it does make sense. And I would not ever want to be non-transparent. So, there's that. Anything else? Nothing. We're getting into policy season, everybody. We get to go through all of our policies again. And I'll go online and I'll make sure that I have all the stuff that, all the policies we have to have. Remember all that ridiculous's from last year?
Well, because we had, like last year, there were certain things that had to be updated.
Yeah, there was
right?
like 37 new
Yeah.
policies that we had to, so I'll have to go through and I'll just have to make sure that we have, because were you here when we did all the policy updates? We had to add like
Oh, it was so fun.
37 policies.
So
Because
what, you had to like approve them?
yeah, we had to go through, we had to adopt them. We had to go through the whole process of like adopting them and whatever. And they were like, and we had to put a tagline on the top of them that like, this is not applicable to the town of Stratton, but should we ever get a school, it would be, because it was like animal dissection policies. Like,
Oh, wow.
how can we have an animal dissection? We don't
have-
dissect animals,
Yeah.
We don't do that here.
I was like,
Just in
right, and
case.
it could run into a problem if somebody's going to school over in Italy and like
And
they're doing
they-
it differently. Like, does that conflict with us? I don't know. So, but yeah, I'll get back into that. I'll make sure that we have all the stuff that we're supposed to have, and we'll be good, and we'll do that probably in September as well. Anything else from TV land?
Good.
Okay. Cool. All right. Well, then I need a motion to adjourn at 6:35.
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Kelly. Joe, any
Second.
objections? No?
No objections.
All right, good. All right, guys, have a good night.
Go team.
See you when school starts.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye. End.
And